Sometimes in life, certain situations arise from which you start to think, what am I exactly been doing with my life? This might occur due to a bad breakup, family issues, health issues, or someone saying something that maybe cut a bit too deep. At that point, you might look at yourself and think, what am I exactly doing wrong with my life? Like, personally speaking, at that point, most people are not very happy with where they currently are in life. A lot of times, though, the answer is not what you're doing wrong, but what you're doing right, and your willingness to do the right. One of the things that I always say is you should always be with people who make you better. Notice I didn't say the people who make you feel better, but rather the people who actually make you better. The things that you do every day, the people that you meet every day, the things that you watch all the time should always consist of stuff that makes you better as a person. And what makes a person better? Sometimes it's a lot of gray. One of the major reasons a lot of fights occur is miscommunication. And as someone who loves his family deeply, I find this very, very close to my heart. All she cares about is herself. He has absolutely no idea what I'm going through right now. These lines are something that we as humans think a lot of times. But why though? The answer to all of it is a gap in communication. A lot of times people forget to tell each other how much they love them or how much they care for each other. I'm personally a huge offender since I don't usually talk too much.
ये मैंने बनाया, ये वाला मैंने बनाया, 200 रुपए, 300 रुपए, 400 रुपए,
ये वाला मैंने किया था, ये वाला भी
तेरे
मैंने
100
किया
200
था,
तेरे हो गए,
ये वाला भी मैंने किया था,
ये मेरा
सब तेरा,
सब
मेरा कोई है ही नहीं, बहुत सारे तो नहीं बनाए
इसका भी
इसके।
देख।
I usually prefer to think actions speak louder than words, but this philosophy doesn't really work with everyone. One thing you should always keep in mind is that a lot of times words of proper communication are really needed to let people know how you are actually feeling. Let's show this with an example. A while ago, when I was really sick with Crohn's. So, in a nutshell, Crohn's is basically this. Pause and read it if you like. I usually had to go to multiple doctors every week or so. And a lot of times the doctors couldn't really help much.
वैसे तो स्टमक सॉफ्ट है, ज़्यादा कोई दिक्कत लग नहीं रही है.
Or I just had to be given an emergency painkiller.
उसके लिए मैं नर्स को बोल देती हूँ पेन किलर डाल देगी. Nurse.
Since this was quite a regular thing and I had to miss a lot of school because of it, and trust me, it is not as good as it sounds. Not even a little. So because of that, a lot of doctors simply said,
हो सकता है स्कूल से बचने के लिए ऐसे ही बोल रहा हूँ.
So I get that school's terrible, but really not that bad. Anyways, a while after that, one day I saw my dad coming back from office and I heard him saying in the other room that how he was sick and tired of constantly taking the dog out for a walk and taking the prince to the hospital every 3 days or so. So, obviously, this hurt quite deeply to me. After that day, I simply stopped talking to him for almost like 2 to 3 years. And if I ever had an emergency, I either just used to bear it somehow or just drive myself to the hospital. Those were definitely dark times. But the thing to notice is that most people would just brush this kind of incident off and carry on in life. My father did not. My father took what he said and my overall reaction to it right to the heart and genuinely felt sorry for what he said. I'm not saying he said sorry though, but at that point he didn't really need to. During this time, once I got chickenpox. It was really bad, and somehow my dad got it from me. And from that point, he grew even more as a person, and he simply started to see life through my eyes. He slowly changed his behavior for the better and started appreciating me for all the good I did. I don't know if he ever said anything to anyone in the family, but slowly everyone started understanding bit by bit what I'm going through and actually started caring for me, admitting all their faults. People grow up when they admit that nobody is perfect and everyone has problems. But realizing your problems and your mistakes and actively trying to fix what you caused is what a functional and loving set of people are supposed to do. Honestly speaking, after everything I've learned from myself as well as from my family all these years, all of us have started to take things like these in a very positive way and have finally started to understand our own self worth bit by bit. For example, if any one of my family members were to say anything belittling regarding my health or anyone's health and regard them as a burden, although again, after learning all this, nobody is crazy enough to do or say anything like this, but in case they do, then rather than me or whomsoever this was said to be sad, we just simply talk about it and let them know that their thinking is absolutely dog shit. And when you have the courage to do or say that, then that is the time you finally start to realize the good things you have unknowingly done. That old lady that you helped that day, that friend you helped when you were able to, the countless lives that are forever changed for the better because of something that you said out of your philosophy on life. क्या ही हो गया यार?
मेरे भाई की कंडीशन बहुत सीरियस है एंड डॉक्टर्स बोल रहे हैं कि उसका बचना बहुत मुश्किल है एंड अब आई डोंट नो व्हाट टू डू. मैंने बेस्ट डॉक्टर्स को दिखा लिया बट कोई चांसेस नहीं है.
ऐसे टाइम तो ऑब्वियसली हर कोई बोल सकता है कि भगवान पे मेहर रखो, ट्रस्ट इन गॉड एंड सब ठीक हो जाएगा, थिंग्स लाइक दैट. ऑफ कोर्स मैं भी ये सब बोल सकता हूँ, बट एज समवन जो भगवान में पर्सनली विश्वास नहीं रखता, आई कैन डेफिनेटली से वन थिंग जो मेरी लाइफ में एटलीस्ट अभी तक बहुत काम आई है. बुरा मत देखो, बुरा मत करो, बुरा मत सुनो. ऑफ कोर्स सहन करने की बात अलग से आ जाती है, बट द मेन थिंग इज़ कि मैं तुझे बहुत अच्छे से जानता हूँ एंड कभी भी किसी का भी कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम हो, सबसे पहले तू खड़ी रहती है वहाँ पे हेल्प करने के लिए. एंड ऐसे लोगों के साथ अगर कभी कुछ बुरा हो भी जाए तो भी अच्छा करने वाले ऐसे 100 लोग तेरे साथ खड़े हो सकते हैं और खड़े होते भी हैं. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि मैं उन लोगों में से एक हूँ, मैं अच्छा हूँ या बुरा हूँ. ऑल आई कैन से इज मैं खड़ा हूँ तेरे साथ, जैसे भी हैं, चाहे अच्छा है बुरा है. आई एम देयर फॉर यू एंड आई एम श्योर millions of other people will be as well. And I'm damn sure कि तेरे भाई को जो ज़रूरत होगी, जिस भी एग्जैक्ट क्योर की ज़रूरत होगी, कोई खून की ज़रूरत होगी, किसी भी डोनेशन की ज़रूरत होगी, प्लाज्मा डोनेशन एंड वॉट एवर, आई एम डैम श्योर कि यूँ सब हाजिर हो जाएगा. तो मुझे बोलने की ज़रूरत नहीं है आई गेस कि भगवान सब ठीक करेगा एंड ऑल, बिकॉज भगवान पे भरोसा रखने के लिए इस सब की ज़रूरत नहीं है. लाइक मुझे बोलने की ज़रूरत नहीं है कि हाँ चिंता मत करो भगवान सब ठीक करेगा, बिकॉज वो ठीक करें या ना करें, मुझे पता है तुम्हारे जैसे अच्छे लोग जो है डेफिनेटली उसे ठीक करते हैं.
Thank you for that feedback.
All those things might feel very, very small to you, but the amount of lives that you've changed without ever thinking about it are basically the driving force of human life. A lot of people almost give up on life. But when they remember that one line from 10 years ago you told them, or even remember the time you helped them when you were barely functioning yourself, Those are the times those people will remember and thank you for changing their lives. And all these things give you the moral integrity to know that you're not a waste of human flesh, but that you're worth much, much more than you realize. A while ago, my mother, in a fit of rage, told me that I'm simply a hole to throw money at, saying that I buy expensive things without the regard for my family's finances. That was the point where I attempted to take my life, because it seemed as if I was a burden on basically everyone I met. Maybe that's the reason my fiance left me. Maybe that's the reason my friends say I'm not a good friend. Maybe that's why my mother is saying all of this. Maybe I'm simply a failure unjust for living, and maybe it would be better that I don't live and be a burden on my ex, my friends, and my family. These thoughts rushing through my head, tears in my eyes, I walked away over to the roof. Every step I took, I felt better and better, because I'd leave the world a happier place and better for all. Just as I'm about to end everything, I got to the ledge. I feel a hand grab mine. In his desperate attempt to save me, he finally got there just in the nick of time to stop me. I cried and asked him to leave me alone, but he didn't budge. Somehow dragging me back, he took me to my room. As I'm still crying, thinking he might slap me or beat me, this happens.
फिर कभी ऐसे मत करना, तेरे ही चक्कर में तो खड़ा हूँ मैं अभी तक। तू ऐसे ही हरकतें करेगा तो मेरा क्या होगा, मैं भी तो टूट जाऊंगा फिर।
Telling me I'm the reason he grew so much as a person and started looking at things in a way he didn't before. That I made him learn the importance of a family and how to work for their well-being. That even me being in my condition helped him so much emotionally that made him keep striving on, and even financially helped him in ways that I could never imagine. My sister even came home to tell me how her best friend wanted to thank me for the things I've taught her about children and what to do at times when she felt lost as a parent, which helped her immensely in parenting her kid, all while her life was falling apart. And how happy my therapist is to find someone like me that made her think twice about her being useless and not doing enough for humanity. There's a lot of times that the small things that we do and their effects, we tend to forget about them. But trust me, the people that those things affect know how important you are for their lives and for who they are today. People who make you feel like you matter are your true family. There are people I know whose actual blood family is just horrific, and for those people it is paramount to understand that just because they're blood related, that doesn't mean they'll automatically love you unconditionally, like how an actual family is supposed to. Family are the people who are with you with the good times and the bad, and they make sure you know that you're worth feeling proud, no matter whatever you might feel yourself. Family isn't just a word, it refers to the heart and believing in each other unconditionally. Thanks for watching, and I hope you are with people whom you can proudly call your family.